Y'all want to know the history, right? I'm just giving y'all a little history. Like they say, Mo just started with go-go, with Don't Mute DC. Nah, Mo go back to 30 years inside the ceasefire, Don't Smoke the Brothers and Sisters when they stopped the music, and I went against Al Malik and let the children play inside the ceasefire. Got them off the streets.
And he been fighting for go-go since ceasefire, Don't Smoke the Brothers and Sisters. So, like, Moten, how can I say this? He like, in DC, he like Farrakhan to me, because whenever he do something, like people like me, I get behind him. Other people get behind Big G from Backyard Band. A lot of people get behind him because we know deep down inside that he's fighting for us.
I think his legacy would mean a lot to a lot of people.
Ron, I've been watching you a long time and admiring you. One thing that I learned from you is to always refer to these 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20-year-olds is what they are. They're children. And sometimes we start talking to them like they're little adults, but they're children. And we need to make sure how we think about them, how we plan for them and invest with them recognizes that they're precious, they're our children, and they're always capable of turning the corner, of getting it right. And as a city, we have to be there to make sure we can do that.
Well, you in historic Anacostia, and we're in the secret garden, the Bundy Secret Garden, named after one of my friends who died in Washington, D.C. through gun violence. He was a business owner right here. I remember me, him, and Trayon White was sitting out back one day after one of our events at Checker Enterprises, and we said we're gonna own those buildings. Unfortunately, he was killed. But now, me and my partners, former gang members, we own these 3 buildings right here. That's how God works, right? And the only reason why I know that we could own these 3 buildings is because what Marion Burry did for us when I was with Ceasefire Don't Smoke the Brothers up at 14th Street where I used to live at, which is the only building owned by African Americans in the neighborhood that I grew up in, right? So that's the only place, but I knew from what happened then with Marion Burry and Al Malik, right, that it was possible to do here. And that's why we standing here. In the background you see P.D. Green, Eleanor Holmes Norton, and of course, man for life, Marion Burry.
My name is KK. I'm from Washington, D.C., born and raised, and I first got affiliated with Ron during the Peaceoholics days. A lot of my friends were in gangs and stuff like that. He helped them get through college. He changed a lot of my friends' lives.
I was raised in a time when D.C. was D.C., Chocolate City, where we went out of town. If we go to a fight in Vegas, people knew who we were just by looking at us. We stood out. We had our own style. I mean, urban fashion it came from DC, but Carl Kanai, for instance, would come to the Madden shop and try to put his clothes in the Madden shop, right? That's who we were, man. We had our own music, our own culture, our own style, and we were together, we were tight-knit. So I was trained by that era in DC, by parents, but also I was blessed to be trained by a lot of people who work with Martin Luther King. I was blessed to Reverend James Bevel, Amelia Bolton Robinson, Annie Lee Cooper. We took hundreds of children to meet them, but I was also able to be in living rooms with great people like that, and they breathed into me. I also worked with Ceasefire Don't Smoke the Brothers, and the things I learned there from the Million Man March, anything is possible, because people said that would never happen. And to be there from the beginning, from the conversation, right? To come to Howard University and speak on stage with Louis Farrakhan and other great leaders and have lunch with Kwame Ture and Winnie Mandela. The streets gave me a lot of sense. Like a lot of things you have, natural instincts that you have that others don't have. Even like when I was a child, I was a Jehovah's Witness. And when I didn't embrace a religion, one of the things I learned from being a Jehovah's Witness, I just had to go at 6 years old and knock on people's doors who normally run away trying to hide from me, convince them to come to the door and talk to me. So I can pretty much get the average person to talk to me, whether they're my friend or my enemy. So some of my experiences in life, from the streets to door-to-door service with Jehovah's Witness to everything, prepared me, because I was one of the type of persons that always embraced, what came my way. I can take something that's bad and take the good from the bad. When this story is finally told, it's a learning experience for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Even when I started working with the gay gang, I'll never forget when I started, They were terrorizing Gallery Place. downtown where we spent millions of dollars, was booming at the time, terrorizing. And the average person would say, you're crazy, Mo. My life, when we came up, gay people always been a part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? I know who I am, and I know I'm not gay. So if that's what you choose to be, some of my best friends are gay, and they've helped me in my life. So it was a no-brainer when they came and asked for help, and I helped them, but got a lot of scrutiny. But because I know who I am as a man, just like we did when I came up in the city, it wasn't a problem.
I'm Christopher Proctor, AKA Lil Chris T.O.B. I'm a Washingtonian, born and raised here from Northeast DC, Ward 5 to be exact. And I met Ronald Moten. Well, really, I met Ronald Moten on 2 or 3 different occasions. I originally knew Ronald Moten for Peaceoholics. Peaceoholics was a program that he started, you know, and they were squashing beefs, you know, right here in the Washington, D.C. area. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, the violence was, you know, a little bit out of hand. And he used our culture, which is our music, which is go-go music. And, you know, he came up with strategies to get young people to squash their beefs, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? Squash their beefs so they wouldn't be beefing. And he was successful at it, you know? And I met him through that when I didn't really know him, hands-on know him. And then a few years prior to that, he had through the Bounce Beat Awards, the Go-Go Awards. We performed and we was nominated for an award or whatever. And then after that, we connected through that. And then he basically grabbed me up during the time where they had the summer program. They had extended the summer youth program. And you know, I knew him from that and I bumped into him. I was coming out of my girl mother house one day and he was like, man, you want to work, man, summer job, I can get you a summer job. And he got me a summer job. Not knowing that when I was doing a summer job, I was gonna be doing a whole lot of other like activists and political things that he had me doing.
He's straightforward. He gonna give it to you exactly how you is. He don't care what color skin you are. He don't care how you are. He gonna give it to you straightforward. And that's just, I had to get used to that. A lot of people who work around him, they have to get used to that. That's just how he is. If you want his help, it's a certain way you have to go about doing it. I think that the way that he handled it, just trust the process. He'll get it done.
Hey, what's up, Mo? This Don up in Central Communications, up on 7th Florida Avenue.
Hey, Don, what's up, bro?
They trying to cut my music off, brother. I've been playing the music out here for 25 years.
What? They trying to mute what?
Gentrifiers moved in, they trying to cut my music off.
We just went through this 10 years ago with Club 1919, and now they trying to close down all the black establishments, including DC Soul Food, man, at the Marineburgs, man. Me and that about to meet up with you, man. We gonna get this petition going, and we gonna shut them down.
Come holler at me, brother.
All right, I'm on my way, bro. There are several black businesses that are being attacked by gentrifiers.
I knew once Mo put his name on it and once he got behind the Don't Move DC, I knew it was gonna change the city. Anything he put his name on, anything he get behind, I know it's gonna move.
Even before I met Mo, he always been active with go-go and helping go-go and fighting for go-go. He was on front line, like he was the front line. Like for instance, Don't Move DC. It started because a gentrifier didn't want a business that been here for 25 plus, almost 30 years, been playing this music on this corner, and we got new people that move here and they don't understand our culture, they don't understand our music, so they calling it noise and they trying to get it shut off. So if Moten wouldn't have picked that up and fought for that, then there would be no Don't Mute DC. There wouldn't even have been a situation where we had to all come together. And then, like, you know, he taught me a long time ago that in every movement, like the NAACP Civil Rights Movement, it started with kids. Kids got the movement off the ground.
When you convince people that it's over and they have no power, you get what you see with these young people running around in the streets who giving up and don't give a damn about nothing. So in DC, if you walked around, everybody was like, it's over. The city's over. It ain't chocolate no more. It ain't this. Without understanding that you still the majority. You still 47%. And if you stand up and speak up, you get what you want, and other people outside your race will stand with you, right? So when that happened, when Don Campbell, my friend, called me, and I called my friend Dr. Natalie Hopkinson, and we came together and we did the petition. They got over 80,000 signatures from around the world because gentrification is going on around the world. Even if you go to Lagos, Nigeria, they can't even play their native music in the clubs there. So this is a practice that's going on around the world, and if people don't fight back, they wipe us out. And when they wipe your culture out and you don't know who you are, what you came from, you're not able to use your superpowers like our ancestors used with the drum, the music, and the history to combat whatever it is that you're dealing with, right? So, you know, the Don't Mute DC activated our superpower, which is the drum and the voice, the first two forms of communication known to mankind, right? And it's always been active in our community. Marion Barry used it, other people use it. Those people I told you about in the civil rights movement, they just use the DJs to put out the messages to tell the children where to meet up at, and that's how they ended segregation.
Thank you. You might be asking yourself, why is the Black Chamber here and around this idea of the Go-Go Museum? I think it's obvious. Go-Go has not only fueled this economy over decades, but it will continue to do that, Ron. I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Black Chamber of Commerce.
Because listen, what you see in the bus and what you're going to see here is just a start. I went up to New York where they got the Hip Hop Museum, and it started out with the same amount of square feet. 3 years later, they raised I'm gonna say this again, $50 million, and they went from that building to a building of 50,000 square feet, right? And then 2 levels of affordable housing. But what I want the museum to become eventually is the museum artist housing on top for our artists and make it affordable and grow our artists in Washington, D.C. So we talking about 4 or 5 years from now, we got to get this right first, right? And the formula, and then that's the next step.
I want people to know it was struggles. Like every month we had to figure out how we were gonna pay the rent. Because this was the time of Anacostia, before all this development started, nobody wanted to be here. But we stuck with it, right? Every time we wanted to give up, we didn't, and then our blessing came. And it's not a real big space, but we gonna make the best of it. You know one thing about us, man, great about us? We do so much with nothing. So if you give us $1 million, we gonna make it look like 10 million. You feel what I'm saying? Not because of Ron Moten, but because of God and the people have come together to say, it's our time to shine. It's our time to fight back. It's our time to change what we see going on in the community with our babies. We can do it because we've done it before.